My name is Yana and I'm a salaried GP and I've worked for the NHS for over 12 years. I oppose vaccine mandates and COVID passports, and I'd like to explain some of my reasons why. So in November last year, I worked at a local hospital and like many others, I caught COVID, which was a disease that I'd personally witnessed kill many of my frail and elderly patients and even a colleague who worked at the hospital at the time. But it turned out to be a disease that caused very mild symptoms in myself, with a runny nose and some fatigue being my only symptoms. In fact, I probably would never have known I had COVID had I not worked at the hospital and decided to get myself tested, despite the fact that my symptoms did not fit the testing criteria. And when I then returned to general practice a month later, and the vaccine program was first rolled out, I was offered a vaccine. But I declined because I didn't see the logic in taking an experimental preventative treatment with no long-term safety data for a disease that I had just recovered from. And since then, the data and my own personal experiences and observations have confirmed to me that COVID vaccines can only protect the person taking it. And I have counselled many of my patients through COVID vaccine questions, through side effects, coming alongside them in a shared decision-making process as to what's the best decision for them and respecting their decision, regardless of whether I felt that was a sensible decision or not. Now, I understand the need for public health policy, but I as a GP also understand the need to treat each person as an individual, because each person has individual convictions, circumstances, even risks and benefits. And the only way that these two things can work alongside each other is through the principles of freedom and bodily autonomy. Now, the truth is if I compromise on the fundamental principle of bodily autonomy for myself, and instead accept manipulation and coercion as an acceptable medical practice, I will also be forced to accept that for my patients, for my colleagues, and even for my family and friends. And for this reason, I cannot support vaccine mandates, even if that means I will lose my job and my career over it. Thank you for listening.